Hi guys, welcome to Tissnet, another podcast. Today we have Sonalika Kumari from Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. So Sonalika, welcome to podcast, Manoeuvre podcast series video, and the very first congratulations for your selection.
Okay, thank you, sir. And also, I would like to thank you and all the faculty members of Manver for your constant guidance and support. So, thank you to you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So how's the feeling after getting selected for the TISS campus, Mumbai campus?
I am very happy that I got selected for livelihood.
Okay. So now all the way from Jamshedpur to Mumbai.
Yes.
So have you been through Mumbai earlier?
Yes, I have been to Mumbai in 2014, but that was for a family function for 2 or 3 days. After that, I have never been there.
Okay, okay, great. So, Sonalika, before we start, just introduce yourself in terms of your academic background and why this idea came into the picture and the courses which you have selected for your TISS program.
Okay. So my name is Sonalika and I am from Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. And I have done my schooling from Jamshedpur itself. And after that, I have done my undergraduation in BCom from Greater Noida. Apart from my studies, I like reading books and listening to music. And from that, reading books, I got the idea of social development by reading books of Muhammad Yunus, like Building Social Business and A World of Three Zeros. And after reading that, I got interest in that field, and I got inclined towards studying more about social development and social business, social entrepreneurship. And that brought me to TISS. And after that, I did some research that what are the courses being offered over there, what are the qualifications that I need. And that's how I got to know about TISS and other
So, what do
courses.
you think? How much this will help you with regards to your career into the livelihood and the social entrepreneurship program?
So, when it comes to social entrepreneurship, I have seen many famous social entrepreneurs that have from TISS who have started their own startup, and they are in this field. They are solving the problems of society. Be it Ishram, not sorry, Ishram. There are many social entrepreneurs. I cannot remember their name right now, but I have seen their portal, have been to their website, and how this has helped them in getting the proper knowledge of social entrepreneurs, how to start a business, be it pilot venture, be it funding, or getting internships, getting field
Mhm.
work, and getting all that practical experience which one needs to start a social business or social entrepreneurship.
You mentioned society or social problem. What kind of a problem? If you name one or two.
By social problems, it can be poverty, it can be malnutrition, it can be the problem of sanitation or pollution, anything.
Okay, okay, fine. Fine. So you joined us for your live preparation batch, right? When you
Yes.
have this size program and the online interview part, assessment part, and all. So how was your journey and how was your experience? How much help you got from the online program which you joined
Um,
at Manoeuvre? Yeah.
Earlier, actually, first thing is this was my second attempt in TISS, and before that, I also attempted in 2021 after
Uh-huh.
completing my graduation. So what happened that time? I couldn't qualify the first round of Tissnet, and
How
after
much you
that,
scored?
there was a difference of 2 marks in the 2021.
Okay. You remember what was your score? Approximately 50?
It was 51, and the cutoff was 53 for
Okay.
social entrepreneurship.
You flung by
So
2 marks.
yes, so I thought to prepare again, and at that time I was really, I actually had all the study materials with me. I had all that. Yes, I have to study this, I have to study that, but I lacked that guidance because I was not aware that how should I prepare it again. So then I joined the batch, and from there I got to know about mock test. I got to know about the various resources, the newspaper, and from that I started preparing again, and that has helped me immensely, like be it any mock test, be was in or any logical reasoning classes, quant. So that has helped me in preparing it like very nicely for 2022.
So which section gave you much more pain? If you
Pain.
maths, logic, English, GK.
Quant was really tough for me. I was not scoring good marks in the mock also, and that was like it was bringing my score down in the mock also. So quant was one of the topic which I really didn't like at that time.
So it was a demotivating sort of a section for you.
No, it was not demotivating. At first, when I attempted my first mock, I got only 8 marks in my quant section, and that was really disappointing. So what I did was I started preparing it again from the very basic level. I started solving the questions again and again from the mock test also, and from the books that I had.
Okay.
And from that, it boosted my confidence, and it was not disappointing because it was a phase, and I started gradually increasing to the level of difficulty, and that's how I overcame the problem of quant section.
So how many mock tests you had appeared before you written the actual examination?
I applied, no, I have given 25 mock tests, in which most of them were full length mocks, and some were sectional mocks for quant and GK and English separate.
So what was your learning from the mock test?
Mock test learning, I would say that when I started, it was really disappointing because I was not scoring good in mock. And slowly in your lectures, you said that it is very important to analyze your mock. So what I started doing is, after writing the mock, the next day I would sit with my paper and I would analyze it very, like, detail. I would do a detailed analysis, like in which section I am not scoring marks, what are the questions, and I would note it down on a paper, and I used to practice that questions again and again. In English and GK, I was scoring good marks, but in quant, my marks was not really good. So I started doing that analysis part. Was, I think, the most important. It plays a very crucial role in the mock.
Okay. So when you had appeared for the actual examination, Tissnet exam, and if you compare the actual exam with the mock test, what exactly similarity you can see or the differences you have realized?
The similarities were the questions were quite similar to the mock test that I've appeared, because the Manware mock, they were the level was a high. The level was high, be it any quant section or GK. So in the GK question, in the GK, I would say the mock, the questions were of different schemes, government schemes, and in the actual paper also we had a lot of questions from government schemes. So that helped me. And in quant also, I could find many questions that I have earlier solved in the mock. So that helped me, and that were the similarities that are found in the mock test and in the actual Tissnet paper.
So at Maneuver, like we obviously the mock test level is one step tougher than the actual examination.
Yes.
Purposely we do this so that in the exam, if you have this stuff, you can manage the paper. If it is easy, then you can perform well. You can boost your score. That is what the idea behind. Anyways, so you clear your stage one. Then after then, how was the journey for the stage two? What you have done for the stage two, OPI, extempore, and all?
For the stage two, it was a different phase because at that time I started reading newspaper on an everyday basis. And as you have said that we need to connect, like we need to read the newspaper in a way that is specific to a course. So I started reading the newspaper, and I started reading about various organizations that are working in that field, or social workers who are working in that field or are doing that work. So that was the part for OPI. That was how I prepared for OPI. And the main thing was the newspaper part, because it not only helped me in preparing for the OPI, but it also helped me in gathering information for giving examples and other policy related things.
How was your actual experience when you have faced the panelist for the extempore and the interview? And what kind of a question they had asked?
Oh, so the interview went very well. They were very calm and supportive. And my extremity topic was employment opportunities in rural areas. And the questions were also quite relevant to the course I selected. Like, I was asked questions about my internship, like what are the lessons that I have learned from my internship and any challenge that I have faced. And since I have did my BCom, so two questions were from my BCom, that what do I understand by inclusive growth, what is equality, what is equity and parity. And then the other panelist took over, so he started asking about why do you want to do this course, and what do you understand by livelihood, explain the link between livelihood and development. And the last one, the last panelist, they asked me about the various livelihood problems in Jamshedpur, Jharkhand, and what are the steps taken by the government to solve that problem. And the last question was, tell me about, they asked me about any three organizations that are working in the field of livelihood to tackle that problem.
So what are three organizations? What are those
They
questions?
were Care India. I said about Care India, and I talked about one more was there. Pratham organization, and one organization by KB Rabia. She's a social worker. She works for disadvantaged people and disabled people. So I gave that example.
So if you compare you have given the mock interview at Manoeuvre also, OPI program you have attended. How much it helped you for the real battle, for the real OPI of the TISS?
So the mock interview, which was taken by Manoeuvre Education, that was really close to the actual interview, because in the mock interview, ma'am asked me about government schemes and hypothetical situation, that what will you do in this case. And the most important thing I would say about mock interview is that she gave a detailed feedback, that in which area I was working good, in which area I need to improve. She also provided me various materials like go to this portal, read about this, and practice in the mirror. So this all thing has helped me to prepare for the actual interview of test.
Okay, great. So if I ask you, this is the common question I ask from all the aspirant. What tips or the session you want to give to all the upcoming year aspirant, those who are targeting for the Tissnet 2023-24?
So for Tissnet, I would say them to prepare, like practice mock test, which is very important to know your marks, and also to prepare a strategy that how you will attempt your paper, and also practice quant on an everyday basis, and read newspaper daily, and GK questions, be it any government scheme, any policy, or any recent amendment that is done in any act of the government. And for OPI also, I would tell them to read newspaper and connect it to your course, so that you can provide them with examples during the extempore and also the OPI, and read about your state, in which state you're living, the measures taken by the government to solve the problems, what are the problems in your area, if any work you have done to solve that problem, and read about government schemes, because they had asked me in my other two interviews of social entrepreneurship and children and families. They asked me about the schemes about children and families, and so in social entrepreneurship also they asked me about the scheme. So I think all these points are very important, and one thing is, keep that in mind, that yes, I'm going to be in the campus of this, because whatever the mind can conceive, it can achieve.
Always achieve, prepare with the achievable attitude,
Yes.
with this mindset. Nice talking to you, Sonalika. Lots of information you have shared, and I hope, or I definitely, after watching this podcast, many people will learn from you. Those who are going for the same program, preparing for the same program, how to prepare for the stage one, how to prepare for the stage two, what kind of a question they had asked in the OPI extemper, how you have tackled it.
Mhm.
So, I mean, this podcast will help to all the viewers, those who are watching this podcast. So that's all in this podcast. Thank you once again coming and sharing your experience, and congratulations once again for your selection, and all the best for your career.
Thank you so much, sir.